I've had a few people comment on my last couple of videos asking why I've been so negative about the new Into the Wood update for Grounded. I didn't think I was being negative, just providing constructive criticism. In fact, many of the things I've been critical of have already been addressed in the latest patch. With that said, I wanted to make a video about the best parts of this update because there are a lot of positives. So in this video, I'll be sharing the 17 things I love about the Into the Wood update for Grounded. Before we begin, I want to thank all my channel members, especially the Overseer91, Grey Knight, and Baz channel, whose support allows me to make videos like this. You too can become a channel member today by clicking the join button below or via the link in the description. Let's get started. So today I'm happy to share the 17 things I love most about the Into the Wood update. There's tons of positives added in this update. Make sure you stick around the end to see what my favorite new insect that was added to the game is. First up, we're going to talk about the ability to customize your game. So we're in the menu here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to hit single player. We're going to hit new game. It's going to take us to the option here where in the past what you would see mild, medium, low, creative, and creative with bugs. Now there's an option down here for custom. So what you can do here is you can customize your game by choosing custom, clicking customize, and now you have all these options. You can make it mild, normal, low. You can basically make it so that the bugs spawn or they don't. Bugs ignore players. So basically what you can do is you can play creative. You can play survival mode with creative aspects, creative mode with survival aspects. You can fully customize this. You can turn off hunger and thirst drain, stamina drain, durability, all the stuff that like maybe you just want to play it more casually, and you can tune these things down. And I think that's just a fantastic update to the game. The second big thing they added in this update that I really love is the revamped data tab. So if you go into your UI and go to the data tab here, normally you would go into your inventory, you go to your data tab here, you're going to notice there's all these different things here. So we have the audio logs, we have the scab here, which is the product. We have the Burgle Tech chips, so you can see all the chips that are in the game, all the audio logs, all the notes. We have notes here, keys, boss notes, stuff from Wendell, as well as places. So this will show you if you've gotten all the landmarks in each area. Now there have been some there might have been some landmarks added. Not sure, maybe I missed some. This is a creative world that I haven't done everything on, but this will let you know if you found basically everything in an area, which is pretty cool. And then all this other stuff, it's just a clean and easy way to see it. You can also go into these audio logs and play them. You can go into the notes and inspect them, which means you can read them. So you can just go back and go through the lore and try to figure out what's going on in the game right now. So this is definitely a huge improvement. And they did mention in their live stream, I believe last week or the week before, that they are working on a bestiary or insectopedia, whatever you want to call it, where you'll be able to see the insects stats and stuff like that. And I'm imagining that'll probably be either on this data tab or maybe a new tab in here. So that'll be a cool addition when that comes in the future. The third thing I love about this new update is the fact that you can now see your status effects on your screen. So you're going to notice in the bottom left corner, there's a little circle down there with a symbol in the middle of it that has a little, it's surrounded by a little white bar or the little white circle, and it's basically slowly ticking down. So that is a status effect. You can now see them on your actual home screen. Also, if you go into your status tab, you can actually hover over these different statuses and it'll tell you what bonuses you're getting from your armor, what you're getting from food, and then the natural ones. So like I have comfy hunger because I slept in a bed. Then we have these. So these are just telling you the different things. For example, I'm in the barbecue charcoal spill area, which is one of the newer areas, and this is telling you I'm getting thirsty faster because it's sweaty. So the last one we're going to save because this is actually a new landmark. We're going to talk about this later, so we'll talk about what this actually does. But I think this is a really good addition because it lets us easily see what our current status effects are without having to go to a bunch of different screens. You can actually even see them. The ones that are the natural ones are actually showing on the main screen right here. Next up on the list is going to be the changes to the spinning wheel and the grinder. So before this update, you actually had to have the things for these two crafting stations in your inventory. So for example, if I wanted to use the spinning wheel, if I wanted to make crude rope, silk rope, the lint rope's new. If I wanted to make these things, I would have actually had to have the web fiber in my inventory or the plant fiber in my inventory. Now they will actually pull from a chest. You'll also notice there is an additional slot here. So before there was only 4 slots, now there's 5. Same thing for the grinder. There's an extra slot now for actually, no, the grinder I think did have 5. Maybe it only had 4. I can't remember. But the same thing goes for this. You can pull these resources from chests and not have to worry about them. And then also another thing I like about this update, this is going to be the 5th thing on the list, is going to be the fact that you can recycle some materials now. So you can turn things into plant fiber. So if you have extra weed stems because you cut down some weeds building stuff, you don't have anywhere to put them or you don't want to store them, you can throw them in here and they'll turn into plant fiber. Same thing with grass planks. I know a lot of times when I'm building a base or something, I'll chop down an entire area, like completely deforested of grass and weed stems, and then I have a bunch of that stuff, and I just throw it somewhere and hope it despawns eventually. Well, actually, I think they did change the despawn times, but basically you have to clean it up or put it on pallets. Now you can just save that stuff and throw it in the grinder, and it will actually turn into fiber, which you can then turn into rope. Same thing goes with the eelgrass strands, the clover leaves, and the sprays. So now all these things can be turned into plant fiber. Next up on the list of things that I love added in the Into the Wood update is going to be the survey stations. So you'll notice that on top of the field station, there's this little satellite dish here that's spinning. In fact, this might actually have been added after the PTS went live because I don't remember seeing that even in fact yesterday, so it might have just been added. But when you go into the research stations or the field stations, there used to just be a resource analyzer here, but now you're gonna notice there's a resource surveyor. So what you do is you click on this and it's gonna let you scan for resources. So let's say, for example, we wanna know where all the gum is on the map. It's gonna show us where all the gum is. So it will actually go to all the other field stations you've discovered and pick up their range. So the more field stations you discover, the more range you're going to get. It's going to show you where all the gum spawns. You can do this for any resource in the game. If you're looking for a specific insect, like you could hit red ant part and hit this. This will show you where they are. Of course, they're going to be most densely populated over here in the grasslands area and by the red ant hill. And what you do is if you're looking for a specific part, you're looking for a specific insect, you just click this and it'll show you where they are. You can also turn it off. So if you go into the map and you don't want to actually see this anymore, you can just turn the survey off and your map will be clean, or you can turn it back on and see them. This is really useful for finding like hard to find resources such as crow feathers, or maybe you're just looking to farm quartzite to upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. So super useful. It's also going to be really useful for one of the new insects that was added in the game. And we will come back to the field station later on and I will show you that, because in order to track these guys, you're going to definitely need, I would definitely recommend using the field station because it's going to be your best bet. Next thing that I love about this update is the fact that turning off the haze now has more impact on the game. So in the hot and hazy update, we were able to plug the haze, turn it off, and what that did was it turned off the haze in the haze area so you could freely explore it without a gas mask. The downside was that it had the infected insects and the strange spores would spread throughout the yard. So for example, just as one example, under the picnic table, you would have strange spores down here along with the fungal growth and stuff like that, and there were a couple of infected ladybugs. Throughout the yard, you're going to notice these things spreading around. The new change for this is, in fact, that when you turn off the haze, or if you've already turned it off, they did patch it so it does go back retroactively, there can now be infected wolf spiders. So the choice to turn off the haze is now even more impactful, because if you don't want to deal with infected wolf spiders, don't turn off the haze. You won't see them. Right now, the only ones I've seen that are infected are the ones that are under the oak tree, and any one of them I think can randomly be the infected wolf spider. They are much tankier than regular wolf spiders. They have lots of explosive attacks. They're going to be a really tough fight. They're probably the toughest fight of all the normal bugs in the game now, outside of the assistant manager and the brood mother. So out of all the other stuff, they can do a lot of damage to you. They're going to kill you really quick, even on medium mode. Woe mode, they're probably going to one-shot you if you don't. You got to be really careful in woe mode against them. So those were added. So now if you turn off the haze, there's even more impact. I'm kind of thinking that in the future, there's going to be more choices like this that are going to have impact on the actual gameplay, and that they'll just keep adding things like this. So it's like you have to choose whether or not to do it. I'm sure at some point we're probably going to have to do it to progress the story, but we'll have to find that out later. Probably my second favorite thing, most favorite thing about this update, so second most favorite, the most favorite is going to be coming a little bit later on, so stick around for that, is the terraforming. This area up here was kind of flat, if you noticed, if you went up here before this update, or even if you go into it right now when you're not in the public test server. It's basically just flat up here leading up to the shed. They did put all these caverns in around here. They added the barbecue spill over here. This is all cool stuff that they changed over here. So instead of it just being a flat area you walk across, they've added lots of terrain, lots of caverns, lots of hills and stuff like that, lots of places to explore. Also, you'll notice that if you come over here, now I'm in creative, so this is not going to actually affect me at all, but if you come over here by the charcoal, there's actually going to be sizzling effect, so it gives more reason to use the antlion armor. So if you come in here between these coals, you'll actually get the sizzling effect, and it actually ramps up pretty quickly if you don't have on the full set of antlion armor and even fresh defense. So that's all cool. This terraforming over here is fantastic, and I really love it. They always do a great job with the terraforming in the game, and I definitely look forward to seeing what they're going to do in the rest of the upper backyard. So while we're over here, one thing I wanted to show while we're over this side is going to be I think this is called the hot springs, the charcoal hot springs. This is really cool. Now, you might just think, oh, that's just a little pond that is warm, but if you know things about hot springs, people, I don't know if it's actually proven or not, but there are people who go to hot springs because they have allegedly, or maybe they do, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, can have healing effects. While I'm in creative, this is not going to work. If you actually walk into this while you're in survival mode and you don't have full health, your health will actually slowly tick up as if you're applying a bandage. So this is pretty cool. The only thing you need to be mindful of is sometimes you'll have the ladybug larva popping out of the ground over here, and the wolf spiders that are under the charcoal grill lid over there do sometimes wander over here. At least one of them does. So be mindful of that. But you can basically just sit in here, relax, and have your health go back up so you don't have to use a bandage or a smoothie. So along with the terraforming and the hot springs that I just showed you, the other landmark that I actually really like is going to be the Termite Hill. The Termite Hill is really cool. It was shown off in the teased in the Termite teaser video. But this thing is I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now. Don't want to spoil the entire thing if you haven't seen it. But basically, we're going to peek in here. This is a giant area that has lots of tunnels leading through it that you can find some different resources in. You're, of course, going to run into the termites, the termite soldier, and one other little beefier termite, which we'll talk about later, so stick around for that. But the Termite Hill is really cool. It's just a new way of adding I guess, a cave system. Rather than all the other ones where they're underground, this also has like above ground caves that are inside these hollowed out logs. And it does also, I think, go down, maybe it's only in the wood pile, I don't know, but it's a pretty decent sized cave area. So definitely make sure you check that out when you hop into the new update, because this is where a lot of the new content is. For the next couple, I want to talk about some new items that were added in the game. This is not everything that was added in the game. I'll have another video for that later on once we know everything that's been added, because they do sometimes add things last minute into the public test server. So the ones that have been added so far that I like the most, the first one's going to be the Black Ox Hammer. This thing looks super cool. This is the tier 3 hammer. Just look how cool it looks. It's actually pretty, I mean, it's one of the better looking weapons, tools in the game. So this was added in this update. Next up is going to be the Termite Axe. So this is the tier 3 axe that was teased. This thing looks totally different than the other axes in the game. So like the Insect Axe and the what is that, the Pebblet Axe. This looks like an actual real axe, like a little axe that you would see someone using, like a little lumberjack or something, or somebody just lives out in the woods. This is really cool, and of course you're going to get that with termite parts. Next up is going to be a couple of new resources. So first up is going to be lint. So the fact that they added lint to the game allows us to make a higher tier rope. So lint is turned into lint rope. So kind of how crude rope is made from plant fiber, silk rope's made from the web fiber. They now added lint, which allows us to make lint rope. So I love the fact that they're adding higher tiers of each of these different resources. That's pretty cool. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about today for new items is going to be the pupa hide or pupa leather. We can combine these together. Pupa hide you get from pupa that are around the map. Sometimes they're on the ground, you can just chop them down. Others are like underneath the little deck area of the new shed. You can actually shoot those down with an arrow or throw pebblets at them, or your weapons. I wouldn't recommend that, but pebblets or arrows will knock them down. You can chop them up. What these are used for is making higher tier leather, which is used in some of the newer armors and stuff like that. So again, another progression. Berry leather is used to make some of the tier 2 armors, and you're going to need the pupa leather to make some of the newer stuff, as you'll see down here, the roly-poly stuff. So those are the 4 new items that I like the most so far. And like I said, there's plenty of more, and I'll do a full video on those, but those are the ones I wanted to cover today because I thought those are the ones I like the most so far. All right, so we're heading in the home stretch here. We got 3 things left on this list of things I love about this new update. They're all new creatures or bugs that were added to the game. And like I said, saving the best for last. But first up is going to be the Scarab. So what the Scarab is, it's a little bug that actually one of them ran past me when we were looking over here at the Termite Hill. So if you notice that little green shiny bug that walked past me, that is actually a Scarab. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to find one. Now, like I was saying earlier with the survey stations, in terms of finding specific bugs, this is going to be the one you're going to be most interested in. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to scan for the twinkling shell, and it'll show you the most recent location of these bugs. So let's just change it real quick just to make sure that they are actually still here. So let's scan again. So it's showing one that's supposedly directly below me. We're going to try to find this one. If I can't find this one, I do know where there's one that's usually there. Now with these guys, what they do is they will run away as soon as they see you, and also if they see any kind of hostile creature. So they run from everything. They're very fast, so you're going to have to kill them in one shot, probably using a crow crossbow. I'm going to do a video on how to kill them, honestly, probably pretty soon. I'm just doing a little bit more testing on it. I was able to hunt a bunch of them on my stream the other day, but let's see if we can find one. There's usually one over here somewhere. If we can't find this one, I do know where there's one usually located. So let me go skip ahead real quick. I don't want you guys to have to watch me running around the entire yard. Hunting them is actually pretty cool. This is a cool new feature because when they actually get scared of you, they will run away and burrow under the ground, and then then they're just gone, and they'll pop back up later on, so you have to rescan. So this is a cool new mechanic they added. So let me go run around and find one, and then we will come back and show you what they look like. All right, so I happen to find one here, and as you can see, it's walking away. Now, like I said, in survival mode, as soon as it detects you, they start sprinting. It shouldn't sprint from me here because I have the bugs not actively afraid of me in this mode, so it shouldn't run away from me. But you'll see they have a health bar here. If you do not kill them in one shot, let me actually hit it and see if it does run. See what happens. It's not running. So like I said, in survival, if you don't kill it in one shot, or as soon as it detects you, it will sprint away. And what ends up happening is they'll get to a point and they'll just burrow under the ground and they're gone, and then they'll pop back up somewhere else later. So you're gonna have to end up scanning a lot. Now, this guy's stuck, so this will be easy. I just wanted to kill them anyway just to show you. So the reason I like these guys is, well, that guy dropped 3, so they did change it so they dropped more. So they drop Twinkling Shells, which allow you to upgrade your weapons to level 8 and 9. So that's the cool thing about the Scarabs. They are passive. They run away from you. Like I said, if you're in survival, they will literally sprint away from you. If you do not have on aphid slippers, you're not going to be able to keep up with them. So I recommend gearing yourself up to be able to kill them on the first shot. I usually use a crossbow. Like I said, I'm going to do a full video on that in the future on how to hunt them, the best ways to hunt them. But as you can see, there were a bunch of them around the map. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've never seen that many. Some days there's only 2. And then here there was like 8. So it varies from day to day. When you kill them, they will respawn. So just make sure you're scanning, because there is another field station over here. You can actually scan a bunch of times. You can actually scan over and over again, and it'll show you, like I said. So if we look right now where they are on the map, you're going to see the locations. It should change when I check this again. And as you can see, some of the dots change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the one I killed is gone, and the other ones have moved around. So I recommend using the field stations for that. But those are the Scarabs, one of my new favorite bugs that were added to the game. All right, our penultimate thing that I like most about this update, or love the most about this update, is going to be the Termite King. So this guy is a beefier termite, not exactly on the level. He does have a lot of HP there, not exactly on the level of the assistant manager in terms of being a mini boss, but certainly definitely more tanky than the termite soldiers. They have buffed him at least once during the public test server, because the first time he was super easy to kill. He's a little bit tougher now, but this guy looks super cool. He's got these spikes, looks like he's got splinters coming out of his back. He's basically just a bigger version of the termite soldiers, and he can do a decent amount of damage too if you're not careful. He also drops a part that's needed to make the termite armor, so there is a reason to kill him. Originally he just dropped the regular same parts as the termites, but now he does drop the part to make the termite chest piece. So definitely a cool addition to the game. Hopefully they add more stuff like this. They're on the feature board, there is a ant queen, so hopefully that gets added at some point in the future. And I definitely like seeing stuff like this where maybe it's not on the level of a assistant manager where it's a full out mini boss fight, but it is definitely a beefier version. So it's like the regular little termites here are tier 1 termites, then you got the soldiers that are tier 2, and these guys are tier 3. But the termites are supposed to be tier 3 ants, so they're supposed to be tougher than the black ants. But anyway, this is the Termite King. He looks pretty cool. He's inside the termite hill, of course. So like I said, I saved the best for last. My favorite thing, the thing I love most about this new update for the Into the Wood public test server, is going to be the addition of the black ox beetle. Look at this cool guy, big beefy boy here. Kind of looks like a bombardier beetle, but bigger. And this thing is just massive. The first time you fight one of them, you better be prepared, because they can take you out very quickly. They got a couple unique attacks, so they can dig rocks up from the underground and throw them at you. They can also charge you. The charge attack does a tremendous amount of damage if you don't block it or perfect block it, so be mindful of that. And these guys drop the resources to make the Black Ox Hammer that I showed you earlier, as well as a new meal, the Black Ox Burger. So you're definitely going to need to fight these guys if you want to unlock all the new stuff. But these guys are, in my opinion, they look totally different. They look pretty much totally different than everything in the game. Like I said, they might be a bombardier beetle, like slightly modified. In fact, looking at it more, it does look like a bombardier beetle with this extra horn on the top. So they probably just took the bombardier beetle and modified it a little bit. But these guys are cool. They're the toughest thing you're going to find in the new area. I would say they're probably still tougher than the Termite King, even though the Termite King's been buffed. And of all the new things added, the only thing that's been added that's tougher than this is going to be the Infected Wolf Spider, which you'll probably notice was not on my list of 17 things I love, because, as most of you know, I don't like spiders. While the Infected Wolf Spider is cool, I'm not a fan of spiders, so I'm not going to include that on my list. Maybe you will. So this is the Black Ox Beetle. Those are the 17 things I love the most about the Into the Wood update for Grounded. Let me know what your favorite is in the comments down below. If you found this video interesting, please click the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. And if you want to support the channel even more, click the join card on the screen right now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.